Hello, hello. We have a special guest in today's video. Her name is Shelly, and she is not on testosterone, but she is an advisor for doing my shots. So she's here to say, make sure to do your shots on time, and if you need to do your shot, make sure to do it. And she says, do them safely and make sure that everything is all clean. 11 months, that's real close to a year, which is insane. But yeah, I haven't made a video in the last 2 months because there just isn't as much to report anymore. Everything is kind of just the same, but like all the things that are changing are just continuing to change at the same pace. There's no like new revelations. I'm just gonna share a few quick things that have happened in the last 2 months. And other than that, everything's really the same as it has been in all my other videos. But the thing that is different is that I do now have to shave my face on a pretty consistent basis. I honestly could do with shaving once a week, not because it like appears that there is facial hair. The facial hair is completely invisible. It just is also long. It like grows long, especially on my chin, and then like a little bit right here. It grows long, it just grows invisible. So it's like noticeable if you're really, really close to me or if it's like certain lighting. But it just is weird to kind of go like this and be like, oh wow, I actually have a scratchy chin. So I probably shave every 2 weeks because, you know, it's not like it looks dirty and crusty and musty. It's just like there. So yeah, my voice is still dropping, obviously. For some reason, I think in the last 2 months, I've felt like it's really slowed down on how much it's dropping. Like it's kind of at a resting state right now. I think it hasn't been getting like consistently that much deeper, it feels like to me, which has been sort of annoying. But also it might be because I stopped trying to make it sound deep after a certain amount of time being on testosterone, because in like way back videos, I think I talked about the fact that I spent a lot of time like sort of practicing talking in a lower range, and practicing like speaking in my chest. And so I kept that practice up for so long and into when I was starting testosterone. And then once I had been on it for a while, I think I totally dropped out of that practice, because I was just like, sick. This is like what I was trying to achieve the whole time. But I think that when I stopped doing that, just sort of subconsciously, I was like, wait a minute, my voice is higher again now. What the fuck is up with this? I thought it was supposed to be, I thought we were like on a trajectory here. But I think it's just sort of now I'm actually speaking in a natural way, in my natural range, with natural inflection. So it's probably a good thing. It just is a little weird. It's really easy to build muscle mass. I've been getting just a little bit beefier, and it's very nice. I would like to be doing more physically active things and working out more, but it just is really nice how easy it, like how receptive my body is to like physical activity. Like it totally is like, yes, you get visible results like very quickly. And that like was never the case my whole life. So it's pretty cool. But I will say, this sort of falls into the category of psychological changes maybe, but I have always really wanted to be androgynous. And I don't think I've talked about this before, but I'm not non-binary. Like the only pronouns that I want used for me are he, him. I'm definitely a guy. I'm definitely a boy, fully binary, right? But I just really, really love having an androgynous gender presentation. And I talked in one of my, I actually like rewatched some of my first videos on this channel, like the top surgery consultation video. And I was saying in that video, like, it doesn't matter to me so much that I pass. Like, I kind of am okay with not passing. Like, it's not super important to me, but it does help. And like, I don't think that's what I meant. Like, it's important to me that I pass. I want to be correctly gendered. And so, of course, passing is sort of a complicated concept and isn't necessarily the healthiest thing for us to hold ourselves to as trans people all the time. And I don't know, some people think it's really problematic, but I'm like, it's not problematic when it's literally the point of transition for a lot of people. Like, I think it's an important construct. I just think that sometimes people push it. I mean, this is a whole discourse that I'm not going to get into right now. But in essence, I do care about passing. I want people to read me as male, but at the same time, I want room to play with my gender expression. And I've never had that until now. And like, that might sound weird because of course I played with my gender expression when I first like came out as a guy, because it's like I had to, you know, I had to completely change the way I was presenting to present as male. And like, in that sense, but that's not play. That's like survival. That's like, in order for me to feel comfortable like looking at myself and being in my body, I have to dress this way. I have to act this way. I have to whatever, cut my hair, all this stuff. I have to do that for my mental health. It is not optional. It is not for fun. And now I'm not under all that pressure because I'll be read as male no matter what. I mean, I've been actually misgendered a couple of times when I was wearing a mask and like not talking, but I think like at school I'm stealth, and like in general I just think I can so easily be read as male that I don't have to worry. Anything that I do, the way that I dress, the way that I have my hair, the way that I accessorize, none of that will change. It won't reflect on my ability to be read as male necessarily. On like a base level. I just have so much room to play and to be as androgynous and feminine as I want without risking being read as female. And I've never had room to do that before. And it is so freeing. And even though I know that I'm a binary male, I just love being in the middle and being anywhere. I mean, yesterday, for example, I wore a dress and fishnets, and I wore that for my birthday party, and it was fantastic. Like, it felt great. And I love wearing makeup. I have nail polish on right now. I love dressing feminine. I love dressing completely androgynous, and I would say that I don't ever dress traditionally masculine. I dress in boy clothes. I mean, all my clothes are boy clothes, but that's because I'm a boy and I'm wearing them. But I don't know, it's been so freeing, and it's felt so correct and so affirming. And I don't really know, sometimes I don't really know how to feel about that, because it's sort of on par with like, it feels on par with like other types of gender euphoria. And so sometimes it makes me question, like, am I actually somewhere in the middle? Like, why does being androgynous make me this happy? You know, am I actually not a guy? Like, am I not fully binary? But I don't know. I think it's just, I really love being an androgynous guy. I think it's just that I really love playing with my presentation. And not only that, but sort of, it confuses me because I don't know if I even fully want to be seen as male. Sometimes I feel like I want to be seen as a completely androgynous, gender-neutral individual, and I want to be perceived that way. And sometimes I feel like I want people to not really know what to make of me. Like, that really is a enticing thought, an enticing concept to me. But I don't feel comfortable when people use they, them for me. And I know that for sure because people have, like, I've sort of succeeded in that aforementioned thing of like, oh, I can't really tell what's going on with that person. I'm going to use they, them because I'm not sure. And then when people do that, it doesn't hit right. I'm like, no, he, him, please. Like, those are my pronouns. I don't want to be referred to as they, them. So that's also a confusing thing because it's like, well, do I want to present in a way where I'm going to be read and referred to the way that I actually want to be referred to, or do I want to present in the way that confuses people and that makes me feel good, but then also they might not refer to me using my pronouns? And I don't know why they, them bothers me so much. I think it just still is very... it's too soon, if that makes sense. Like, it's too soon. I abandoned those pronouns a while ago, but it's still a little too soon for them to come back and for me to not feel like I'm being misgendered. Like, you don't think I'm a guy. That makes me really uncomfortable. So, I don't know. It's complicated, and sometimes I do still question my gender, but it's not in the, like, frantic, panicky, like, horrified way that it was when I was first, like, figuring out that I was trans. Like, oh God, oh my fucking God, what's going on with me? It's just like am I? No, I don't think so. Okay, yeah. It's just kind of a check-in every once in a while. So I don't know. I guess I don't really know what to make of those feelings, but I'm just having a blast presenting as androgynous and dressing with all of the freedom in the world to dress as feminine as I want to. It's been fantastic. And initially, before I went on testosterone, I also wanted to dress feminine, and I felt really deprived of that. I felt really like, God, I'm trapped in this fucking box of, like, only being able to dress masculine and present masculine lest I get misgendered. And it was just like, that's the only option. Like, the only option is to just dress as masculine as possible and just pray that people pick up on it. And then, but I felt really like I was aching to kind of be more feminine, and I was really missing that. And I was really like, God, I wish I could just wear a dress. I wish I could just wear makeup. I wish I could just paint my nails. And I really, like, held myself back from all of that because I really couldn't have done those things without, you know, being read as female. I mean, I was read as female no matter what I did, no matter if I was, you know, wearing a binder and packing and wearing, like, a hoodie and sweatpants and whatever. Like, I would always still get read. Like, it didn't matter how far. It was just like I would open my mouth and I would get read as female. Or even just looking at me, people would read me as female. And so it was like my only hope was to try to lessen it by leaning as far into the binary as possible. And so maybe it's just now I'm feeling like I'm finally not having to do that anymore. And so that's why it feels so good and so fulfilling, is because it's like I was really deprived of that. But I felt really bad pre-T, because I was like, if I want to wear women's clothes and, like, be feminine, why am I transitioning? Like, why don't I just go back to identifying as female? And that was, you know, the dysphoria talking, and that was a very harsh thing to be saying to myself, but it was just like, if you want that so bad, you can have it. It's called being a girl, and you gave it up a long time ago, and, like, now you're sad. And it was just like this really kind of awful internal dialogue of that's exactly what my brain would say to me. And it's like, well, no, I'm not a girl. I still want to transition. I still am definitely a guy. Like, this is right for me, but I am kind of deprived of expressing my femininity and expressing androgyny. And I'm really stuck in a box of masculinity. And as much as it was just a really kind of bad place to be, and it made me feel really bad all around. So I would say one of a really big impact that testosterone has had on me is, as strange as it sounds, allowing me to be feminine, allowing me to be androgynous. And I don't think that's a very common response to being able to medically transition. I think a lot of people, or at least the narrative that's out there, because like transition YouTubers got me fucked up sometimes. Because the narrative that's out there is like, finally, I can be as masculine as I want, and it'll work. It'll work out. And like, I respect that, but I think it's important that everyone acknowledges the fluidity. And for me, I have a lot more freedom now that I'm on testosterone. So that was a lot, but that is one of the biggest things, one of the biggest changes that I am going through, and one of the biggest psychological things that's actually happening with me that I've noticed in the last like several months. It's been a long time coming. Actually, basically since I started T, I've been having these feelings. Since I really started actually looking like I passed more and more. So yeah, those are the big ones. I hope that you understand, and if you don't, feel free to ask me questions about it. I'm still figuring it out myself, clearly. But I'm very happy. I'm very, very happy, and I can't wait for next month when I can proudly present to you that I have been on testosterone for 1 full year. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Maybe I'll throw a party or something. But yeah, thank you very much. Take care.